I think when students think about how to help their mental health, one of the first things to do is to let themselves have feelings. We like really try to push feelings away and ignore them, but feelings are really normal. Feelings aren't pathologic. Because you're sad, because you worry, because you're mad doesn't mean you need to come see someone like me, doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It just means you had a reaction to something and you're allowed to have those feelings. So giving yourself like space to have those feelings, express them, name them. It sounds kind of cheesy, but actually naming feelings can be really helpful for people to feel validated in their experiences, to think about what to do next to help themselves. You know, if I name a feeling and I know what I'm experiencing, then I can think about what coping skills I like to do for that. I think it's helpful for students to know what coping skills they like and what they can turn to in those moments. I think having even on that list of things, friends and family that you know you can go to in those times that will be open and talking to you about that stuff. I think you at least need to be talking to like one person in your life about what's really going on. I think it doesn't help to have nobody you talk to about that for sure. And I don't think you have to talk to everybody about it, but it's very important to have someone you tell the truth to about how you're feeling and what's going on and that you feel supported by, because it's important for them and that's important for your friendship or your family relationship to be able to really know what's going on with you. It makes for closer connections. It makes for, you know, a better place to turn to if you need help in the long run, and you'd feel a lot more connected to people, a lot less lonely. So I think that's helpful. I think social media is something else that is worth thinking about as a college student, which is, you know, the data is really mixed on social media and what it does to your mental health. I think there are pluses and minuses about it. I think there's some studies that say it gives you anxiety and depression. Then there's some studies that say the opposite. And, you know, over the pandemic, because we've had a lot of virtual time, we've turned a lot to social media as a sole source of support. And I think it's been really helpful for that. But I do think that it's important when you're using social media that you pause and evaluate how you feel. Like, is this actually making me grind my teeth and I have no idea what's going on? And that's what's like, I shouldn't be scrolling anymore. I'm grinding my teeth and I'm really angry, right? You should be able to say like, this actually is affecting me. You should think about limits around that. I think it's important to set time limits. I think it's really important not to do it right before bed if you can. You know, it's hard to think about how to make your sleep a lot better when you're a college student or when you're struggling with a lot of other things to balance. But, you know, removing social media is the last thing you do before bed, trying to do something else before bed, like listen to a podcast or, you know, something else that feels more relaxing and isn't actually on social, can be quite helpful. Sleep is really, really important for everybody, but especially college students. And so having an awareness that all of that contributes, I think, is really important.